Deadlock is the new 6v6 hero MOBA shooter from Valve, the company that allows me to buy video games in my underwear while avoiding any social contact whatsoever. The game is not even fully released yet, as it's on alpha playtest and you need an invite from someone who already has the game. This game is complicated, difficult, and at times, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I mean, look at this. What the fuck is going on here? It's like me trying to buy a copy of Shinobi for the PS2 in a dark alley at 3 in the morning off of a guy from Craigslist. It's fun, it's complicated, and I am enjoying it. So is a lot of people, and as of recording there are, hold on, let me check actually, right now. 90,000 people playing right now. This is not going to be an in-depth analysis of Deadlock, but I wanted to give you a gist of the game to give you an idea of what Deadlock is about. For some context, to get a better idea of what Deadlock is, let's first talk about the two genres that make up Deadlock, which are hero shooters and MOBAs. Then let's talk about the unique aspects of Deadlock. Starting with MOBAs or multiplayer online battle arena, which Dota and League of Legends are the best examples of the genre. You play one character with a team of other players and you try to destroy the enemy base in a predetermined map. You have to balance gaining resources and playing with your team to get an advantage against the other team, either through map control or against other players. While the map tends to stay the same with changes to it essentially changing how the game overall can be played and are seen as balance changes. MOBAs tend to have a lot of characters, which give it its variety. This is where the complexity of MOBAs and how you can play one character your entire life, but if you take into consideration the characters of your teammates, the enemy team, this would change how you would approach each game, how you lane, how aggressive or passive you should be, which characters synergize and support you in relation to who you're up against, and which characters you can just dumpster on in a fight. Should you be going for small skirmishes or just look to force huge team fights? Are you better at pushing towers and objectives, or are you better at eliminating enemy heroes? That's up to you to find that approach with the characters that you play with. Another aspect of MOBAs are resources, which can be split up to experience and items. Experience, which is to level up and improve your character's stats and abilities that are tied to your character, and money, which is to buy items to further certain aspects of characters. Deadlock does this by the use of souls, which serve as both your experience and your money. The total amount of souls earned is the experience, and the available amount of souls you have at any given time is your money to buy items with. Souls are earned by eliminating enemy lane creeps, enemy heroes, destroying towers, and taking neutral objectives like jungle creeps. All the good stuff you'd expect from other popular MOBAs. As you can see, MOBAs have a lot of stuff going on, and it's no surprise that it can be seen as a high barrier of entry, but players who are really into MOBAs really get into it. With the amount of creativity and skill expression you can do with it, I do think it's satisfying to improve and get good at. This is a simplified explanation of MOBAs, and just talking about it as a whole will take up the entire video. While this is a huge part of what Deadlock is, that's just one aspect of it, and the other half of it is that it's a hero shooter. The best way I can explain a hero shooter is with a comparison. Let's compare Overwatch to Call of Duty. They are both first-person shooters, but what sets them apart from each other is how loadouts are done. In Call of Duty, each character is essentially the same. Sure, the character models are different, but that's just cosmetic and doesn't really serve anything other than team colors. What makes each character different are what guns, perks, and kill streaks, which are just abilities really, that the player chooses. I don't actually know what loadouts you can have in Call of Duty now. The last Call of Duty I played was Black Ops 1. In Overwatch, the loadout is tied to the character itself. Changing the abilities or the guns of the character changes what or who the character is. Reaper from Overwatch is a close quarters combatant with his shotguns that can teleport to flank and turn into a creepy ghost to get out of situations. If you give him a sniper rifle and make him run really fast, that essentially changes who he is mechanically and can be considered a new character. So in short, non-hero shooters are about the equipment players use, and hero shooters are about the characters the players use. This is probably a gross oversimplification, so take this with a grain of salt, and let me know in the comments below and roast me on how wrong I am. Since Deadlock is a shooter, there are no ranged and melee heroes in the traditional sense. Instead, everyone has their own gun with its own unique properties and a melee attack with light and heavy versions. As of now, all melee attacks seem to be the same across all characters. With that out of the way, let's quickly go through the currently, as of recording, the 21 playable characters of Deadlock. If Ryzen Hellboy had a love child, Real Steel, the pill guy from Osmosis Jones, Bo Grandpa, Sleepy Fart, Boy Gargoyle. His name is Kelvin because he has cold attacks and his name is a unit of measurement for temperature. Do you get it? It's to die for, darling. Asshole. No, look at his lore. It says he's an asshole. This is peak writing. Two for flinching. What CEOs see when workers have unionized? Look at those goddamn thighs, baby! Sneaky breaky briefcase. Stick that fork in the socket. Every bad boy with a pompadour ever. Sniper feet. Jelly Cube from D&D exercises his Second Amendment rights. The law? I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Weeb. Weeb. Right now, I've been spamming Haze and she's a blast to play. She's this assassin that works for the Secret Service that throws knives that put you to sleep with the Reaper ultimate. She can go invisible to make sure she escapes before the enemy catches up to you. Let's now get into what makes Deadlock different from all the rest. Starting with how you pick your character. Before you start any match, you pick a minimum of 3 heroes and the game will pick the hero out for you. You can set priorities for each hero so that you have a higher chance of getting that specific hero. I think this is divisive for people as players know who they want to play and maybe they want to one-trick a specific hero or they want to practice a specific hero. But I say that this prevents the game itself from getting stale and actually forces you to experience the other characters Deadlock has to offer. This might just be me, but getting the character that you want makes the game extra satisfying to play. You can set priorities for the heroes that you want to play and it does feel like the game will give it to you as much as possible. But if you get the other heroes, you still pick them out of the rest, so you still play with what you want. Another thing I like with Deadlock is that there are no designated lanes for the hero that you pick, as lanes are automatically assigned to you. This for me would suggest that there are no designated roles to play unlike other MOBAs. Sure, some heroes may be better at supporting, some heroes are better at tanking, and some heroes are better at dealing damage, but if you build your character right, anyone can hurt and deal huge damage. In Deadlock, there are 4 lanes. 2 lanes will be 1v1s and 2 lanes will be 2v2s and that's it. Moving on to the laning phase, Deadlock has put a shop on each side of the lane and there are no regular consumable items like tangos from Dota or healing potions from League of Legends. Instead, you have these healer minions that heal you if you're close enough. I like this as, to me, Valve has made this to enforce focusing on being in lane and fight for last hits, harassing your opponent, and pushing towers. It also reduces the time needed for players to buy items, heal, and get back into the fight. Speaking of last hits, Deadlock has put an interesting spin on the mechanic. There are 2 ways to last hit, with your melee and with your gun. Last hitting with your melee attack will give you the full value of souls per minion. If you kill a minion with your gun, you will be awarded half the souls and will spawn these orbs. These orbs will fly up and after some time, they will explode and award you the other half. You can shoot these orbs to get souls earlier, but be warned as enemy heroes can shoot these orbs as well to deny you the other half of the souls and take it for themselves. You can shoot enemy orbs as well so you can deny them their souls and take them for yourself. Your orbs will be in a bluish green color and enemy orbs will be in a reddish orange color. You can tell if an enemy creep is ready to last hit if their health bar turns white. This is a fun take as you have options when getting last hits. You can go with the melee option and get instant value of souls and not get denied, but you run the risk of getting shot at, or you can take the safer route and use your gun, but risk your orbs getting denied. This takes advantage of Deadlock being a shooter and makes it into a mini competition on who can shoot more orbs and deny the other of souls. I think this is one of the most fun aspects of Deadlock for me. Let's now talk about the zip lines, as this is how you will mainly get around the map. You see these colored lines here? Do you see how they move back and forth? These are zip lines which you can take from your base that will take you directly to your lane. You can use them as much as you want and you can jump off at any point while ziplining. Just be careful when using them to escape, as you can't use them if you just took damage, and if you get shot while ziplining, you will fall down and get stunned. There's also a speed boost while ziplining that goes on a long cooldown after usage. It's kind of similar to Dota's teleport scroll or League of Legends teleport skill. Remember how I said that the color sections of the ziplines move? The colored sections mean that you control that much of the zipline and you can go as far as you want as long as you control that section of the zipline. So you can take the zipline from your base to the enemy base and back. The amount of zipline you control depends on where your minions are. So the more pushed a lane is, the more of the zipline zip lines you control. I just like how this is implemented, as even though you may not have any towers left, you can still have presence in the map as long as your lanes are pushed, so it adds to the comeback potential if you are on the losing end. It also makes you more mobile overall, as you can get to specific portions of the map quickly. You also have the freedom to just zipline back to base, but if you notice a team fight is popping off or a teammate needs help, you can just jump off and ride the zipline to the other direction. Ziplines aren't the only mobility option. The map also features jump pads that launch a character a great distance, teleporters that send you to the other side of the map, ropes that bring you up to rooftops, all of this to give Deadlock a fun playground for players to traverse the map and really let players decide on how they can approach opportunities and disengage from danger. Keeping with mobility, players have access to several movement options that are available for all characters. You can dash, dash jump, air slide, 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 air slide, dash, air dash. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying now. You can use this to either disengage from danger or to close the gap on any target. This uses up stamina, which can be seen beside your reticle. One action takes up 1 stamina, and using them in succession will quickly drain your stamina. And when you run out of stamina, you know what? You're just dead. You're just dead. This adds another layer of depth, which I will admit gets some time to get used to, as one of the inputs, the dash jump, has some timing to it. But when you do, this lets you traverse the map of Deadlock in a fun and engaging way that feels like you're flying, and it's satisfying to use and learn. Escaping from danger is not the only use for dashing, as really good players can use this to gain the advantage against an opponent in a fight and make yourself a difficult target to hit. Your gun might hurt more, but it doesn't matter if they don't hit their target, and I can attest to this myself. If I see someone just dashing and dancing around me, just kill me. My trash aim ain't helping anyone. And if anyone sees me losing an enemy from their dashing, just saying, it wasn't me. In Deadlock, verticality is baked into the gameplay. You can see this in the map design in their usage of skyscrapers down to being street level. You can use these jump pads and rope to make your way up to the rooftops. You can use these to gain a vantage point for ganks, escaping for danger, or to just get some vision. It's not just skyscrapers. There are various sections of structure like this bridge in the mid lanes that lead into the central building that houses Deadlock's equivalent of Roshan, that let you get some elevation so you can see the landscape or having an easier shot on your target. Similar to Smite, some characters' abilities let them fly up in the air for mobility or for an attack. An example of this is Lash, where he has an ability that lets him use units to launch himself up in the air to position himself for an attack. Vindicta also uses an ability that lets her fly to get an easier shot on her targets. I also like it that there are alleyways and underground tunnels that you can take. Is it underground or just walkways? Either way, Deadlock really delivered a true 3D environment to play with here. One thing I noticed, and someone please correct me on this if I'm wrong, I noticed that there is no warding in this game, and this might be a hot take, but I am happy that there isn't any. I don't know, but telling me to ward is like telling me to eat my vegetables so I can grow big and strong, and I know I should do it, but fighting and farming is just so much more fun. Vision does work differently since this is in the third person perspective and you can only see what's in front of you, but I think that adds to the experience, especially if you're chasing someone or if you're running away from someone. You can't see what's around the corner or you can't see what's behind you. But I also understand that this is probably frustrating as we are used to vision mechanics coming from Dota or League of Legends. I think Smite does have warding, so take that with a grain of salt. So Valve may implement something in the future, but if they don't implement warding at all, I'm not going to be looking for it. If there is warding and I just completely missed it, then this is just a rant on warding from a MOBA scrub. God, I'm getting cancelled. Overall, Deadlock is a fresh take on the MOBA genre, putting spins into already classic mechanics and concepts like laning, last hitting, map design, and many more. Deadlock is a fun and addicting game that has a lot of room to grow, and I'm excited to see how Valve will push this game forward when it's on a full release. Gunplay is satisfying and the gameplay is open to creativity on how you can build heroes and how you approach situations with its verticality and movement options. I do hope that Valve retains its sort of randomness at the start of every game, as that's part of the fun of it. I don't want the esportification of the game where everything is set set in stone like roles and characters you have to use in each lane, and everything is optimized. If you wanted to try something new, it sucks getting flamed for it in chat, and it's only okay if you see the pros do it. This could be me just being a whiny crybaby, and there isn't actually anything wrong. And no one is really stopping you from doing what you want to do. And it's true, no one is stopping you, but being able to just pick your character, albeit randomized, and being sent to your lane is a breath of fresh air that I welcome. But I'm going to leave it to Valve as they know what's best for their game. I mean, look how many people are playing this game and it's not even fully out yet. Now, would I recommend this game? Yes, I would definitely recommend this game. Get a friend who already has the game and invite you, or join a Discord with people who have the game to invite you. I don't know, I just got this game randomly, but if you can, give Deadlock a try. Even if you have no experience with MOBAs, it's just really fun and I'm sure you won't regret it. And if I'm wrong, feel free to leave an angry comment down below. That's about it. I'm out.